Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and today I have my first update for my year-long project pan. So I am doing this in the rolling 10 pan style, and my goal for the majority of my items is to use them up to completion. Of course, some of these things are items that I know I'm not going to use up by the end of the year, but I do want to make them my focus for usage. So I do have one rollout, and I had put it out to a poll to you guys on my community tab to pick the next item that I rolled in, and y'all are doing me dirty, but I did pick out some things that I kind of want to run by you guys as my roll-in. And I also have some really good progress on my items. So if you guys want to see what my empty is and then what I'm rolling in and all of the progress, which I repressed my bronzer. So if you guys want to see that as well, stick around. We're going to get into it right now. I did this Valentine's Day pinky look today, and I was going to put on a cute shirt, but I'm cold. So, sweater and heated blanket. So, I am so cold all the time. But we're going to go ahead and get into, as Jane's over there grumbling at me, which thank you everybody for your comments and your like speedy recovery and well wishes for my husband. I actually took him to the orthopedic doctor today. They put him in a boot for 6 to 8 weeks. He broke his foot. They confirmed it with more x-rays. So yes, we will see how that goes for his recovery, but so far he has been annoying the tar out of me. But that is just our love language, I guess. So I guess par for course. But let's go ahead and get into, let me actually show you my empty first. And this one shouldn't necessarily be a surprise to anyone. We knew we were getting there, but it's my Say Super Glowy Gel. Glowy Super Gel. Glowy Super Gel, yes. I'm back to saying the name wrong, but you guys can see that I tore mine apart because I was curious about this bag on the inside. So I did pull the bag out. So it does have a threaded mouth, I guess, and so you can unscrew it and then you can pull out the bag. So, you know, pump, bag. This bag is a harder plastic, so it's not as like, I guess, compactable, because I was able to get in there with my spatula. I cut it open because there was some product around here, and I was able to actually get the product out, like scrape it out and get like another 3 or 4 uses on it. But if you guys are curious, this is what it looks like. I don't think I'll be able to reuse this bottle unless I cut the entire bag off of it. Then I could use this bottle because of course the bag is connected to the pump. But if you are ever curious what was inside the Say Glowy Super Gel, should just say it wrong because then at least I can say it. But this is what it looks like as the little piece falls out. The piece that I cut off at the end, I just stuck it back in there. But if you guys are curious about the weights as far as empty, and this is scraped out empty, my final weight, actually no. Let me remember how I actually do this video. Of course, graphics popping up. So my weight last month was 126 even. My weight completely empty was 123.56. I did use it 15 times to empty it, so that's 2.44 grams of product. Now I have been tracking this since the very beginning of me using it, and I was able to get a total of 238 uses out of this product. And I did purchase this on sale, so I got this for $22.40. So I think for $22.40, I would say that if I can get, like, how am I trying to say this? So if it's $22, if I can get 220 uses out of a $22 product, that feels good in my brain as far as like price per use and all that stuff. But 238 uses is what I got out of the Say Glowy Super Gel, and I did have it in Star Glow, which is the lightest shade. So I am using my trio pack of the like minis that are half sizes. So I love those, but once those are done, I definitely would go back to the full size as well, but definitely get it on a deal. So that is my one rollout, and that was super satisfying because it took all of last year for me to use that up. But let's go ahead and look at my Tarte highlighting palette. The exciting part about this is that I hit pan in shade 2 again. You guys might be able to see that pan just glinting there in the camera, but you guys saw that I repressed this at the beginning of the year, and I have already hit pan on shade 2. Now I have been working a little bit longer on shade 2 to hit pan on it because shade 2 was already repressed prior to the first of the year, but the rest of these are pretty shallow. I think the next one that I would hit pan on is shade number 3, and then shade number 1 and shade number 4 are relatively, like they're a little bit thicker, but they're also the shades that I reach for a whole lot more. So that is what we're looking like. As far as for our weights, when we rolled this in at the beginning of the year, I was at 116.06, and now I'm at 115.51. So I did use 0.55 grams. So that's actually a little bit more, but also I think the difference in that is also the fact that I repressed it. So if I lost a little bit of product while repressing, that would kind of account for that half a gram. Now, I always do show you guys my graphics as far as how many uses I got on the palette so far in the month and for the year. Since we're only looking at January anyway, I'll just have the one graphic that pops up that tells you how many times I used each shade in this palette. So you guys will see that popping up here. As we go along with the year, I will show you how many times I use each shade each month, and then how many times year to date. So expect that for the next update. So again, my goal is just to use the crap out of these. So I don't necessarily have a goal to empty any one pan. I just want to get really good use on my beautiful highlighters here. So I love them to pieces. Then I think the rest of the items in here are like finish goals. So we have my ColourPop Lippy Pencil in Brink, and very small now. Like, look at that. So the black mark is where it will be empty because I've emptied enough of these. And I was watching Donna's channel the other day, and she's like, oh yeah, I can pan one of these in a couple months. And I'm like, this is the only lip liner that I'm using, and let me consult the spreadsheets because I am dumbfounded at this point. So I started using Brink September 1st of 2024, and it is still here. So that means September, and then all of September, October, November, December, January. A year and 5 months is how long Brink has been going. I don't understand that because I used to be able to pan one of these in about 7 months. And that's what I kept saying. Oh yeah, it'll be 7 months. It'll be 7 months. It'll be 7 months. No, a year and 5 months. Donna. Tell me your secrets. But this one's almost done. Of course, like all of the lippy pencils, my little lead has started to come out, so I just kind of push it back down in there. Eventually, when I go to sharpen this, probably sometime in February, I would be surprised if this lasts past February, but eventually that will just pop out in my sharpener. It'll fall on my floor and I will be done with this lip pencil. But yeah, we will have, what, a year and a half with this pencil by the time it's empty. But you guys will see my graphics. I made some good use on it. I have been a little bit more intentional, and I've used makeup a lot more in January than in past months. So I was sharpening this a whole lot more. So that is where we get that beautiful use on our pencil. But let me go back to, did I tell you guys the weight changes. So last month I was at 4.07. Now I'm at 3.66 for 0.41 grams, which is actually on par, maybe a smidgen more than I was doing before, because again, I did my makeup more times in January than in the past couple months. So 0.41 grams of use for the lippy pencil. Let's look at my foundation. So my foundation is going to have less use on it because I have been trying to finish my, nope, that way, right there, my Fenty mix that I ended up making. So at the end of the year, I took whatever was left in the Fenty Beauty Ease Drop Skin Tint. I mixed that with a little bit of, let me backtrack a little bit. So I took my Estee Lauder concealer and my e.l.f. my e.l.f. Camo Hydrating Concealer. I mixed the two of those together. Still didn't really like the dryness of them. So I mixed a little bit of gel moisturizer into that concealer mix, and I liked it a lot better. So when I actually decanted the concealer from the Estee Lauder component into the e.l.f. component, the e.l.f. component holds a lot less product. So I took the remaining concealer and I mixed it in with my Fenty Beauty, because the Fenty Beauty is a skin tint. I don't really like skin tints. I like a little bit more coverage. So I ended up making like my own concoction with the Fenty and the concealers and the gel moisturizer, and now I love it. Now I can't put it down. I have used, let me grab my book. I have used the Fenty 20 times in January. No, 21 times. I used it 21 times in January compared to my Urban Decay Face Bond, which is my like focused foundation right now. I used that 4 times in January. So big difference. I was not reaching for this, number one, because I really like how the Fenty is looking right now, but also I want to get that done. So on this one, we only had 4 uses. Again, I'm trying to look at where the bottom of the product is down there. So that is kind of like my best guess, because you guys can see if I tilt it, I don't know, maybe this way. If I tilt it, you guys can see the product is further down in there than where it is like clinging to the sides. So made a little bit of progress on the foundation here, and this is not going to take me long once I'm focusing on this again, but like I said, I've just been really enjoying the texture of the Fenty right now since my skin maybe is a little bit drier because of the cold weather. So for the face bond, we were at 29.57. Now we're at 28.71. So I did use it 4 times for 0.86 grams. Now, of course, I do mix this in with like my foundation concoction. I'm never ever using this just strictly alone. So maybe some of the times that I was doing this foundation, I was mixing it in with the Fenty. I make my products work for me, but 4 times. That's all I got out of that one. And got to get your iced coffee. So I went and I got us coffee because I wanted coffee. I wanted the sweet treat. But let's move on to my blush. So I am trying to pan. This is one of those ones that, again, I'm just using it as much as I can. But this is the Hourglass Mood Exposure Blush. And I think when I look at my side-by-side pictures, because we're not going to be able to see a whole lot of change in the actual product because it is a baked product, I am looking at the change in the pattern of like the swirls, because as I go further and further down, like some of the veins get bigger, some of the veins get smaller, like the little big spot up here, that gets bigger and smaller as I go down. But I can see that I am now concaving into the dome. And so I am focusing my brush kind of in this section up here. So it is higher along this edge and lower along this edge. So as we go down, I could see it hitting pan somewhere around here. Not for a while, but that is what we're looking like with my Hourglass blush. For our weights though, we were at 45.87, now we're at 45.64. I did use it 5 times for 0.23 grams. This blush, I can pack it on. So this is not a blush that I need to be light-handed with. I actually do kind of scrub my brush into it, tap it out on the mirror, like tap my brush into the mirror, and then I put it on. So I don't have to be gentle with this because it's not that bright. It's more of just that nice mauve flush. So that is what we're looking like on the blush. Let's look at my Repressed Laguna bronzer. Now, I do have pictures of what it looked like before I repressed it, but like I told you guys, once I hit that side pan, it started to crumble and I started to lose some product, and I was like, oh no, we're not doing that. So I did a little repressing party and this got repressed. Actually, you guys know, tangent on tangent, while I did my repressing party, I told you guys that I was going to do it. So, ta-da! And actually, Andy asked for a swatch once it was dry. And I think that this, like, it just looks like my pink finger, but I think this is going to be very similar to what like Ofra Chiclet was, but since it has that highlighter mixed into it, it'll just have this beautiful shine, but then it has this depth once the shine goes away. I've used this once since I repressed it, and I loved like the burnt cheek that it gave me. So maybe that will help me reach for this Natasha Denona blush a little bit more instead of having like the tri-pan, but I did repress this. So it actually would have been a beautiful blush for today's look, but I used my Hourglass Ghost palette because it's in my Project 10 uses. So, repressing party. We have my NARS Laguna blush, and this is what we're looking like. If you see those little specks of white, I repressed my Rimmel Stay Matte powder right before this one, so there was like some flecks left in my little bowl that I use, and so I just repressed them in there. So there's a little bit of Rimmel powder in here, but not much. But like I said, I did repress it. It is kind of thick in there, so it will still take me a little while to get through this. I'm hoping that it doesn't like start flaking and falling apart, but it is doing really well in there right now as far as me getting my brush in. So that is what our repressed bronzer is looking like. I think 2 more months. That's going to be my guess on this one. But now we were looking at weight. So we were at 68.76 last month. Now we're at 67.48. So I did use it 22 times. So I did my makeup 22 times, which is a lot more than I have in the past couple months. But for 22 uses, 1.28 grams. That's a little bit more than before, but number one, I was using about a gram of product doing my makeup about 18 times over the last like 3 months consecutively. Now, doing my makeup that additional 4 times, that accounts for it. Plus, of course, I might have lost a little bit of product when I was repressing. So we were a little bit over with that 1.25 grams, basically. But that means that we are making really good progress on this. And like I said, I suspect that this will be an empty in March sometime. And then I am super excited about working on my Too Faced Milk Chocolate bronzer, because apparently that one is a very hard one to pan, so I want the challenge. So let's look at my eyeliner that I'm doing. So this is the Urban Decay liner in Overdrive, and I did sharpen it since taking my pictures because I'm filming this on the 4th, and so I wanted a nice fresh point, but it's this beautiful teal color, and I absolutely love it. So for Overdrive, I am tracking the amount of times that I'm using this because again, I want to have a good representation about uses per gram, of usage type of thing. So last month we were at 5.4 and now we're at 5.28. I did use it 5 times for 0.12 grams, so 1/10 of a gram basically of use in those 5 uses. Now with this one, because I am using it on my tight line a lot, I'm having to sharpen it a lot more because as soon as I feel a little bit of like scraping on my tight line, I sharpen it. I'm not playing those games. I'm not scratching my eyes up. So I think I did sharpen this a few times. So of course we're going to see weight changes with sharpening, but I was very happy. Like when my graphic has popped up, I'm very happy about how much it did actually move down. So that makes me very happy. That kind of makes me feel like even if I can keep up the 5 to 7 uses per month, like that is good momentum that will help me use this up by the end of the year. So that makes me very, very happy. So here is our concealer. So this is the mix of the Double Wear Concealer and the e.l.f. Hydrating Concealer and a little bit of gel moisturizer. That is all mixed into this component. And I see windowing. So I have windowing here, but also like it's settled about here. So that's where I think I am with this one. This component, well, I like this component a lot better than the Estee Lauder component. It doesn't hold a whole lot of product. I'm trying to see if I can get it to do windowing and then, yeah, so we have windowing all the way down to there. So this goes quickly, but I do know there's a lot of products stuck to the sides. So of course I will make sure to take out stoppers and all that stuff when we get closer. But so far this is still going strong. So last month we were at 32.54. I did use it 21 times. We're at 30.75, so 1.79 grams of product. That's a lot of concealer, but I use a lot of concealer. So if you guys have seen my Get Ready With Me's, you guys kind of see where I do my concealer placements and things like that. So I do use quite a bit of concealer, but I like the little concoction that I was able to make, and it has been working out well for me. Let's look at the lip product that I have in, and that is going to be my Sephora Gloss in Dangerous. I actually kind of, like, I know this is in my 26 and 2026, but I kind of forgot that it was in this project. So, and I'm not tracking how many times I'm using this. I don't know if I should or if I should just be like, well, it went down, so I guess I used it. But for this one, you guys can see my new mark a little bit below that one. I'm going to try to do different colors as we go down, or I'll like rotate through colors, but we have a nice green little polish color right there. So not a whole lot. That's probably like 1 or 2 uses of this product, quite honestly, because like I said, I forgot that it was in this project here. But we were at 39.84. Now we're at 39.69, 0.15 grams of product. Not a whole lot, but at least I used it. That's what I'm saying. At least I used it. But now that I actually know that that's in my project, I will kind of pay it a little bit more attention. Then the last item that we are tracking our usage on is the Rare Beauty Mini Blush in Wander, and it is just this beautiful mauve. I actually do have this on my cheeks today, underneath all of my powders. So this was the cream blush that I put on this morning. And actually I've been enjoying, because this is so pigmented, I've been enjoying taking that or actually the e.l.f. one also in Cheeky Lychee, and I take a little bit of the foundation off of my foundation palette and I mix the foundation in with the blush just to tone it down a little bit and make it blend a little bit more seamlessly. So that is what I have been enjoying doing with those blushes. But as far as my usage, we were at 14.34, now we're at 14.13. I did use it 8 times for 0.21 grams of use. And this has fluid ounces, this doesn't have grams. So I don't necessarily know what the conversion is on some of these things, because fluid ounces to grams I don't think would make sense, because everything has its own density per volume type of thing. So I don't think that there is an appropriate conversion unless you know the density of a product type of thing. So I'm not worried about it, but I did get that 8 usage, which actually feels really good. So that was everything that I have made progress on. I feel really good about that. I also feel really good about using makeup 22 times in January. That feels really good. And then I don't think I have a whole lot of time off in February either, so I should use makeup quite a bit in February. But I was just looking at my little line markings as far as how far down I went on things, and that actually feels really good. And I'm very hopeful that Brink will be an empty next month, and that the concealer will be gone soon, and the bronzer will be gone in the next couple months. So we're going to have some roll-ins coming up, and that makes me very excited. But you guys, let me see if I can go back into my community tab and look at what you guys said. It said lip products, but I was like, I already have a lip product. So I don't want to necessarily pan another gloss or another lip product because I have this one rolled in, and I don't want to like another liner, lip liner. No, we'll roll that in when Brink is done. So I was like, nah, I don't want to do a lip product right now because I don't even know what I would do. Like, I don't want to, like, I would roll in maybe one of my Too Faced ones, but like, I don't want to hyper focus on those and use them up too quickly because I'm actually really enjoying them. So I did not want to do a lip product. And then everybody else was like, do an eyeshadow. And I love it. Yeah. So your lid setting shade doesn't count. Thanks for that. Thanks for that. So what I did, and you guys actually did say maybe one of your potted shadows or an eyeshadow stick. So thank you. So, oh, that's my blue eyeliner gang. Thank you for making that suggestion. So that is what I'm going with. And what I ended up doing is that I have 3 ColourPop Super Shocks that do not have pan on them. My other 2, I think I only have 2 other ones, they both have pan on them, but these ones don't. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to randomly roll like a 1 through 3, and that will tell me which one I pull, and I will use it until I hit pan. And then maybe I'll pull like a 1 or a 2, or I'll flip a coin. And then I will say, okay, that is the one that I'll use next. And I'll try to hit pan. That way we will have a Super Shock rolled in for probably the majority of the year. And you guys will be able to see me pan an eyeshadow. I'm telling you, between the Joker stuff where you guys were like, pan eyeshadows or like pan a lipstick, I was like, y'all don't like me. Like, I really think that that's where we are at. But all right, so I have my pretty random, and let's go ahead and we're going to say 1 through 3. So I set it 1 through 3, and let's see. Do I just tap or shake to randomize? So I'm going to turn it towards y'all, and 2. So number 2 that was in the middle is Party of 5, which I'll tell you guys what ones I had. So I have the How Far I'll Go, which is from Moana. So that's that one. Then I have Party of 5, which is my purple one, which I actually tapped this over the top of my look today. So that's fun. And then I also have Aster, which is beautiful. Look how reflective that is. This is so beautiful. So I don't use these enough, and that is why I decided to go ahead and roll these in. But we're going to be starting with Party of 5, and it's just this beautiful mauve with like a blue sparkle running through it. Let me see if I can kind of sheer that out and show you guys. Like, look at that. It is gorgeous. So we are going to start with Party of 5, and I'll give you guys a little bit of a close-up. So I do have a dip in it, but we are not close to hitting pan yet. So my goal will be to hit pan on this. As soon as I see pan, then I will say, okay, it's done. And then the next update, I'll roll in one of the other 2. And we will try to make it through all 3 of my Super Shocks this year as hitting pan on them. And then all of my Super Shocks will have pan on them. I only have 5. So it's not like I'm like, oh, all 300 of them. No, I have 5. So, but that still is a fun project and prompt. So thank you guys for participating in my little questionnaire. I appreciate you guys. And what do you think of my pick? since you guys keep telling me to pan eyeshadow, what do you think? But yeah, that is where we're at. Like I said, I already told you guys my predictions. I will go ahead and actually let me weigh this real quick and tell you guys what my starting weight is so I can have my graphic pop up. Got my little jewelry scale, so we will see what we're starting at. So for Party of 5, we have 18.23. So that is our starting weight. I will track the number of uses that I have on these. I think that also that means that I will not select these in my no pan left behind because I will end up using these quite a bit, because even these two here, definitely the Aster and How Far You'll Go, I can use these as like inner corner highlights, so these ones will also be easier for me to reach for, whereas Party of 5, because it is, you know, it does have some base pigment to it and it has that color to it, but even then, like, I could use this as a blush topper. How much fun would that be? Like seeing Party of 5 next to that Natasha Denona blush, like that would be so pretty topped over that blush. So we are maybe going to find some different ways to use the Super Shocks, but I will weigh all those, I will put them into my journal, and I will start tracking those so that we can keep track of when I hit pan and how many uses it took me to hit pan on them. But that's what I have for my February update. I was like, where are we at? Update number 1 in February for my, I was going to say no pan left behind. No, Erin, no, for my project pan. And that's all I got. So I'm going to go. I'm going to encourage you guys to do all of the YouTube things. Hit a thumbs up on this video if you guys are enjoying my content. If you are new or lurking, consider hitting that subscribe button. I'm like 4 subscribers away from like the next like 100 type of thing. So if there's 4 of you that are watching that aren't subscribed, hit that button. Like, hang out. This is my personality. I do conscious consumerism, project panning. I have a beauty budget. I'm transparent with you guys about what's coming in and out of my collection. I'm looking at my big old bucket of my empties, and that feels really good to see that bucket overflowing. So stay tuned for that one. I'm wondering what I want to do for my video on the 10th. So if you guys want to see anything specific, let me know. I'm thinking about maybe doing a fragrance video, but also like I'm terrible at describing fragrances, so I don't know if that would actually be helpful. It might be entertaining. I don't know if it'd be helpful. So definitely let me know down below what you guys want to see, because I'll be filming that this weekend for the 10th. Also, drop me that comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about my eyeshadow pick and how I'm kind of fulfilling y'all's dreams to see me pan eyeshadows. Let me know how you guys are doing. I love our conversations down below in the comment section. We have a really supportive, amazing community down there. So make sure to drop me a line or drop us a line, because I do have people that interact with each other and they are wonderful. It's a good little space that we have over here. But otherwise, I am going to take the rest of my pictures and get this good for you, because I have to upload this tomorrow. Quick turnaround for you guys. But otherwise, I do appreciate each and every one of you guys for being here. I'm going to wish you guys all a beautiful day, and I'll catch you in my next one.